Good evening. I call this meeting to order. Will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? There it is. I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Publics Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Cedar Grove Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be advertised by having the date, time, and place thereof posted on bulletin boards in the district, published and or transmitted to the Verona Cedar Grove Times and Star Ledger newspapers, tap into online news, filed with the township clerk, and posted on the district's website. Roll call, please.
Mrs. DiChiara.
Here.
Mrs. Miga. Mr. Splendoria.
Here.
Mr. Shoner.
Here.
Mrs. Dai.
Here. The meeting is open to the public for comment on items on the agenda. Seeing none. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
It's been a while,
It has.
right?
Yes.
But it won't be that long because we got another meeting next week,
We do.
right? Just a
yes, we
few
do.
days away. All righty. So we have budget presentations and things to approve, so we'll move it along. Committee reports.
You want to start or with the career fair?
Why don't we let our high school
okay,
person go
yes.
first?
We would steal all your
Jessica, how
thunder.
are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We let her speak first, then you can't say the things that went
I
on and mess
know.
it up.
I don't wanna steal
So
your
you go
thunder.
right ahead.
Thank you. So our annual high school updates. The CGHS musical Peter Pan, a musical adventure, was held on February 27th, 28th, and 29th and had a great turnout. CGHS had a fantastic college fair on Wednesday, March 4th, with 150 students and 100 parents, and the school looks forward to doing it again next year. Today, Wednesday, March 11th, is our CGHS art show, currently being held at Sunny's. The CGHS All-School Council will be hosting a Pie Day fundraiser this Friday, March 13th. Students will have the opportunity to throw plates of whipped cream at some of CGHS's very own staff, with all proceeds going towards the Math and Science Initiative. Students will be taking the SAT at Cedar Grove High School this Saturday, March 14th at 8 a.m. Congratulations goes out to Christopher Shoner for being awarded the title of Unsung Hero. This title is given in recognition of a student who has distinguished themselves in a unique way that models good citizenship and a quiet strength that inspires others in the spirit of volunteerism. Christopher will be recognized on Thursday, March 19th. The Cedar Grove High School Film Club will be hosting their annual Best of the Fest Film Festival on Thursday, March 19th in the Cedar Grove High School auditorium. Furthermore, students from the film club will be taking a field trip to the Garden State Film Festival on Thursday, March 26th. On March 26th as well, the 4th annual Orange Invitational will be held in the Cedar Grove High School Gymnasium and run by Mr. Cardinale's sports management class. All proceeds will be going towards juvenile diabetes. Marking period 4 is fast approaching, with marking period 3 ending on March 30th and grades being posted on April 6th. Our NHS for Cedar Grove High School, their ceremony will be held at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, April 7th in the Cedar Grove High School auditorium. And on Wednesday, April 8th, will be our CGHS art show held at the high school. Thank you.
Very nice. What's going on?
So I just wanted to ask, so
Yes.
the teachers that are getting the pie in the face
Yes.
obviously are approving
Getting the pie in the
of
face.
the pies in the face.
Yes.
Did you
so
volunteer, Mr.
we
Cardinale?
wanted to do this in honor of
No.
Pi Day, 3.14.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Yes.
thing, which is this Saturday. So we wanted to do a fundraiser this Friday, and we asked all of the Cedar Grove High School math teachers if they wanted to do it, and most of them said yes. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that it's supposed to be a fun event and
Yes.
no one's gonna go up and be throwing pies and unsuspecting
But if they
teachers.
had
no,
somebody
they're
back out, you'd step up.
They all
right?
volunteered. We made sure it was great. It was all approved.
Thank you. Fantastic.
I just wanted to
You
tell
can
you,
stand it.
Frankie,
Yes.
you and the cast were tremendous.
Oh, thank you so
It was
much.
a
Yeah.
fabulous
It was pretty
show.
amazing.
It was pretty amazing.
Thank you guys.
And I
I really
took-
appreciate that.
1,100 pictures.
And I loved all of them.
And you came close to the mustache. It was
I'm
close.
sorry, I know that mustache is hard to beat.
It was close.
He's had a lot of practice,
Oh, yeah.
lots, many
But
years.
it was really impressive.
Thank you.
It was really
Thank you so much.
impressive. Everybody did a great job.
Other committee reports, what does everybody have?
Nada. I've been,
Go right ahead, I know you have
No, I'm
something.
glad you do traps. I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah, that too. I forgot,
Yeah,
yeah.
traps. No,
Right,
I just wanted to
absolutely.
say that the play was fantastic.
It was.
on multiple levels. It was great that it was sold out. Everyone stepped up. I love that Mrs. Jen, who's really involved the community, involved all the grades on multiple levels, and also the college fair was a fantastic thing for the first time.
It really
Yeah.
was, it
I
was
mean,
so
all
well
those
attended.
colleges were there, and it was great. And even teachers like Mr. Stefano were going up and talking to each individual college and finding out what their highlight was, what the more important thing was at their college, and then he was finding the student in the auditorium to make sure that student went up and spoke to that college about, or university about it. And we also had the Army was there.
Yep.
And I forget the other armed forces. I forget the other one. I could see him, you did the pull-ups on the side.
Yes.
And we also had some technical institutes as well.
It was really great.
was really
For the first
great.
time, absolutely.
It was fantastic.
So we'll look to kind of do that again next year, is that our
Oh,
hope?
I think we saw something in this. for sure.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
Great.
that's fantastic. All righty. Anything else?
I'm gonna let you run with
Really?
with
The
it,
few
yeah.
that are left?
Yeah, the
Okay.
few, yeah.
All right, well, budget season is upon us.
Right.
And we have had various budget meetings, and we continue our meetings. We have 2 budget presentations this evening, and Monday, we will be voting on our proposed budget. Is that right, Mr. DeVita?
Yes.
So yes, so stay tuned with that. Every year, it becomes more and more challenging, and we have to try to be as creative as we can, and think about where we can reduce expenses and increase revenue. So, and we do that every year, and it just becomes more difficult.
It was a challenge.
It was, it definitely is. Let's see, I attended the middle school FSA meeting the other night. Great things happening. One thing I wanted to point out that I thought was great, that the FSA president talked about, is that apparently they'd been doing it at North End for a number of years, is they've instituted a grant program at the middle school where teachers can actually submit their grants, and they can submit a mini grant, which is something that will cost under $400, or they can submit a big grant, which is no limit. And the FSA approves these grants, and I just think that's a great way for, teachers, if they have an idea or something that they want to do. So I just thought that was great, and again, it's funded by the FSA. Let's see, Mr. DeCourt had given his update. And the NJSLA, which is formerly Park, will happen in April and May. And he talked about being able to do it, I think it was in 2 sessions, is that right? To limit the number of testing days,
Hopeful.
which is very exciting. Let's see, and then he talked about his LAD obstacle course that the kids and Mr. Lugumene had created for the drones, and that's pretty exciting. So maybe at some
All
point we
from
can get
scratch,
a little,
right?
Yes.
a
You
little
would like
show.
them here, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Absolutely.
You would.
Gotta give them a little time frame
you-
though,
when
because
you
otherwise
watch the
they're all
video
excited
of
to
it,
sit there for like an
it's
hour and do it.
amazing.
So maybe,
Pretty
a
cool.
little time frame. But no, I think that would be very exciting. So that's great to see. So that was nice. And let's see, last Sunday, we held our 10th annual TREPS at the Cedar Grove High School, which was very well attended, and it was very exciting. And there were a lot of entrepreneurs there selling a lot of things. And I just think it's great that that program has continued, after 10 years. It really is. And the fact that, 100 kids sign up to participate
Yeah.
and so many return the following year, I think
Yep.
it's just a testament on, what there is to be gained by the program.
really is.
So thanks to the kids who participated, the parents who put up with it,
Yeah.
everybody else who
The
was involved, our
volunteers.
sponsorship, our sponsors,
Yeah.
volunteers, very well appreciated. Thanks to several members of the board who acted as traffic, police that day. Again, it takes a village. So thank you. If there's nothing else, we will start our board presentation. Are we doing it together? Who's going first? However you want to start. Rock, paper, scissors, absolutely.
Okay, good evening.
Hello. How are you?
Those of you that don't know me, Christopher Kinney, Director of Special Services. Every year now, we're coming up and giving presentation about the Special Services budget proposal for the 2020 now, 21 school year. I was up here doing the 2010, 2011, 10 years ago, so it's pretty funny. 10 years, wow.
Same as Trups.
Right? How about that? So what I'll do is I'll first go over the breakdown of the special services budget, and then I have another slide at the end, which is the ancillary lines that, as my role in special services, not so much a special ed line, but other lines that I'm in charge of coming up with budgets for. So you'll see that at the end of the slides. They're broken down to several different categories, one of them being the district. My pointer is, where is it? Oh, it's not working today, but I'll take that. Just out-of-district tuition. These are placements in private schools for the disabled. They can be also VOTEC placements, which in this case, it's vocational technical education for both general ed and special ed students in this one particular line. And then other local school districts that we do send kids to. The budget for that, and that's where most of our budget is for special services, 2.763412. Most of it's based on state-approved tuition rates, so you cannot, you're pretty much bound by what the state tells you per diem, per day, what private schools can charge. Unfortunately for us on the back end, at the end of the year, when the private school does get audited, they could also tell you, you know what, even though we charge you $300 per day, after our audit at the end of the year, we were supposed to charge you $310 per day. So now we want you to pay us the extra $10 a day for that student. So within this budget line here is also what we call back bill expenditures.
Right.
So these would be for the current year, for the 1920 school year. There's back bill expenditures that we get hit the following year for, that we have to pay. Also, related services and extraordinary services, the difference between both of them. Related services are any services that we provide, OT-PT speech for groups. Extraordinary services are anything for an individual that would be extraordinary beyond the ones that we offer in the school setting. Again, they could be for ABA, audiological services for those students with hearing impairments, nursing services, feeding therapy, job coaching as well. The subtotal for that is $500,000, excuse me, $418,500. That is a reduction because there's less services needed, and some of our in-house staff is also taking care of those services. There are supply costs. Special Services Office has those. Child study team members have supplies, whether it be test kits, any type of ancillary materials they would need. We also provide supplies for the special ed teachers within the district, and as well as the therapists that do the therapies. That subtotal is $17,300. That's a decrease because in the past we've had to buy FM systems at the middle school. We're slowly catching up to where we don't need to buy FM systems for every single classroom. That requires that, for example, in 5th grade, there are 4 rooms that have it: math, language, arts, science, and social studies. So we're slowly getting those. We don't need to buy as many. Child study team, again, the supplies there: travel, workshops, materials, any consultants materials that we have, psychologists, social workers, any supplies for them. The budget subtotal there is $17,300. That's a flat, no change from last year. In our extended school year, we are anticipating a little bit of an increase because we want to add staff. We do have a large preschool population this year. It would require adding another preschool teacher in there, as well as other related service providers that may come on and add more hours to that. So that there is an increase with that, but our budget is $52,500 for our ESY program. which will run June 29th to, June 29th to July 30th at the middle school. So just a quick breakdown and a final functional budget total, as you add all those up, 3.269 million, but as always, the federal government gives us Individual Disability Education Act funds. We usually budget about 75% of what we got from last year, just to be safe. I think like I said, I've been here 10 years. I've never seen a decrease in those IDEA funds, but the county does give us tips to just budget 75% just to be safe, because you never know what the federal government's going to do, and if they do catch you off guard, you just want to put that in as a safety net.
No surprises.
The last budget slide are those ancillary budget lines that I also have to allocate to. So nursing costs, these are not nursing costs like salary costs, these are other supplies for the nurses. So the supplies would be $6,000. We do have a school physician that we pay for yearly that helps with our physicals. Also, our nurses rely upon the school physician for standing orders of what to do in certain cases. There are travel expenses. When a nurse travels between buildings, they get paid. They can put in for travel there. Miscellaneous expenses, workshops, or any kind of PD that we bring in for them, we take from that line as well. 504 services, so any student that is not special ed but has a 504 plan, there are services that they get and supplies that we need for them. So that's a separate line other than a special ed line. We do anticipate an increase in that line because of the need for other services for incoming kindergartners that we do know that are coming up. We've given a heads up, so we have to anticipate giving them services. So there is an increase in that line. Security, we plan on maintaining the $32,000. This is for maintenance of cameras. We do have some standing cameras that have been integrated to the new security system, but over time, 2 to 3 years, they might start to go. So we just kind of put that in there just in case we do need that. IT maintenance phones, in order for them to communicate back and forth to each other in an emergency. They do have phone lines. And any type of training that we send or bring in for security purposes goes through that line as well. Home instruction, right now we have budgeted for purchase services. That's an online program such as EduSeer. If a student cannot be accessed by a teacher, we use an online program for them to get their home instruction if they were to be sick, say with mono or something like that. And our Cedar Grove staff does most of our home instruction needs when they can be with the students, so therefore that line is allocated for $20,000. And again, that's a ballpark because you don't know exactly how many kids next year will need home instructions. All right. Questions?
No.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Most of you know me. For the people that don't know me, I'm Jim Walsh. I'm the IT director at Cedar Grove. And I'm going to give you an overview of our IT budget for this coming school year for the 2020-21 budget. First item we have is media services, and these are software services that our media specialists use in our libraries, various database, encyclopedia subscriptions that are used throughout the district in our libraries. And then we have repair of technology equipment. We do pretty much all our own repairs of our Chromebooks, PCs, printers, projectors, smart boards, and our network infrastructure. We have approximately about 1,600 Chromebooks in district and about 250 PCs. Of those, the majority we do all the repair on. When we went one-to-one this school year, 300 of our Chromebooks are covered under warranty, but the other 1,300, our IT department does all the repairs on those. with budgets the way they are, we have started leasing some of our hardware. So we do have a couple existing leases on Chromebooks that we had a lease at the high school. This coming year will be in the third of our 4-year lease on some Chromebooks there, and then the middle school, third of our 4th year. This school year, when we went 1-to-1, grades 5 through 12, we leased another 300 Chromebooks, and that'll be the second year. And then this coming school year, we'll have Chromebook PCs and smartboards. We'll be upgrading some of the smartboards at our K4 schools, and we do need to add, we added about 125 new PCs this year. The biggest issue on adding those is, we've probably all heard through the news over the last year, Microsoft stopped supporting Windows 7. And most of our computers in district were Windows 7, and the hardware on most of those computers would not support Windows 10. So we've been replacing, we replaced about 125, and we have another 125 or so to replace this coming school year. We feel it's safe right now. They're all still protected with security updates and virus protection, but we do need to get them upgraded into Windows 10. And then we'll be leasing another 300 Chromebooks. The way our 1-to-1 program has been working on grades 5 through 12, this school year we did, we leased new Chromebooks for grades 5 and 9, and those will stay with them through their 4 years in middle school and 4 years in high school. So this coming year we will lease for the incoming grade 5 and the incoming grade 9, and they'll just keep sliding forward. So they'll have a new Chromebook to use through the whole time in the district. And then smartboards, I believe we're looking at about 6 or so smartboards at our elementary schools for this coming year. Infrastructure, technology, hardware, with all of the computers and stuff that we do have supplies we have to buy. Our border switches and routers, not to get technical, they're just a device that let all our 5 buildings within the enterprise communicate with each other, because everything we have is campus-wide, so Wi-Fi that exists here exists at South End, exists at the high school, exists at the middle school. Everything is all connected together through fiber between the buildings, and then switches and routers, and then we have switches within the buildings to control any internal connections within the buildings. Training, travel for some workshops. And printers and toner, it's still a fairly high number, but even though we're 1-to-1 with computers and Chromebooks, there's still a lot of printing that needs to be done. So we do supply cloud printers in each building for the Chromebooks for the students to print to, and then some other printers in each building, a color printer, and some printers that the staff print to. And toner for those seems to stop going up. And then one of our items is software licenses and services. We're required to content filter our internet, which is what's called a SEPA filter. We have a trouble ticket software that our staff uses to put in any repair issues that are needed, and various services. We buy support on our Dell servers and our storage arrays, our antivirus licenses, our cloud backup, our Wi-Fi support, and we also maintain the school TV channel, channel 76. So if you look at a breakdown on categories, we have media services, the repair, technology leasing, infrastructure, workshops, printers and toner, software licenses and service, and projected for this coming school year will be $229,141. Any questions?
No.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And there'll be more presentations on Monday on the remaining parts of the budget, right?
Yes.
Got it. All right, so stay tuned for more.
Yes.
More discussion. All right, so we're moving on.
Great.
From the Office of the Business Administrator and Board Secretary, under minutes, can I have a motion for B1 through B5?
So moved?
Second.
B1 is a motion to approve the public and executive minutes of February 11th, 2020. B2 is a motion to approve the budgetary transfers for the month of February 2020. B3 is a motion to approve the treasurer's report for the month of January 2020. B4 is a motion to approve the board secretary report for the month of January 2020. And B5 is a motion to approve the board secretary certification to the Cedar Grove Board of Education pursuant to the code. Any discussion?
No.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. DeChiara,
Yes.
Mr. Splendoria,
Aye.
Mr. Shoner,
Aye.
Mrs. Dai.
Yes. Under business, can I have a motion for B6 through B11?
So moved.
Second.
B6 is a motion to rescind the motion B43 on the January 7th agenda. B7 is a motion to approve payment for the student ID listed to receive the balance of the CGHS project graduation fees and yearbook fees. B8 is a motion to recognize LRP as a bus stop for the YMCA Summer Day Camp. B9 is a motion to retroactively approve the proposal to allow the qualified wrestlers from the Cedar Grove High School to attend the NJSIAA Individual Wrestling State Championship in Atlantic City, New Jersey from March 5th through March 7th. B10 is a motion to retroactively approve the location agreement with Megan Matheson and the Cedar Grove Board of Education. And B11 is a motion to approve the services of the TASA Group to provide expert services for the ongoing litigation at the cost listed. Any discussion?
No.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. DeChiara,
Yes.
Mr. Splendoria,
Aye.
Mr. Shoner,
Aye.
Mrs. Dai.
Yes. Under personnel, can I have a motion for S1 through S25, please?
So moved. Second.
S1 is a motion to acknowledge the New Jersey Quality Single Accountability Continuum, NJQSAC, results for the Cedar Grove School District, which satisfies at least 80% of the weighted indicators, resulting in a district designation of high performing. I noticed all of that was bolded, by the way.
Yes.
Because we did so well, and we're very happy about it.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we
did.
are. S2 is a motion to approve the resignation of Jane Moran, ESL teacher. S3 is a motion to approve Christine Carabitos, full-time ESL teacher at North End. S4 is a motion to approve Liz Daniel, part-time pre-K teacher at North End. S5 is a motion to approve Jennifer Walter, North End School pre-K maternity leave replacement teacher. S6 is a motion to retroactively approve Kayla Amato, South End School grade 3 maternity leave replacement teacher. S7 is a motion to approve Jocelyn Hernandez, South End School Physical Education Maternity Leave Replacement Teacher. S8 is a motion to appoint the following staff in accordance with the state emergent hiring start date procedures. And I guess I have to read them because they're bolded.
Yes.
Amy Carduccio, North End School Paraprofessional. Judith Kerrigan, South End School Paraprofessional. Gina Purdek, MMS Math Replacement Teacher. And MMS Math Maternity Leave. S9 is a motion to retroactively approve Troy Spinetta, substitute teacher, at the rate listed. S10 is a motion to accept the resignation of Barbara Weber, South End, for purpose of retirement. S11, rather, is a motion to accept the resignation of Dale Lohman, South End, for the purpose of retirement. S12 is a motion to approve Heather Reed, Cedar Grove High School boys JV tennis coach. S13 is a motion to retroactively approve Jillian Lagatuda, Cedar Grove High School girls assistant track and field coach. S14 is a motion to retroactively approve Robin Levy as a lunch supervisor. S15 is a motion to approve the following volunteer coaches for the 1920 school year: Peter Velarde, Ryan Fearon, and Joseph Amati. S16 is a motion to retroactively approve the following North End and South End teaching staff to be eligible for substitute lunch duty. S17 is a motion to rescind motion 7 on the January 7th, 2020 agenda and approve the following advisors for SAT prep as listed. S18 is a motion to approve Mike Tedesco to write curriculum for Introduction to Computer Science and AP Computer Science at the rate listed. S19 is a motion to approve Jennifer Costanini, substitute teacher. S20 is a motion to approve the following as a school volunteer. S21 is a motion to approve Irina Shatowski, Janice Sweeney, and Janine Barboza as makeup consultants for the Peter Pan drama performance. S22 is a motion to approve Allison Horace, South End School maternity leave replacement teacher. S23 is a motion to authorize attendance at the following events. S24 is a motion to approve the following leaves of absence. And S25 is a motion to approve the following students for classroom observation. Did I miss something that I gotta go back to, or? Okay, any discussion?
No, but
No,
congratulations to us on CUSAC.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy with the scores.
That's good, yeah.
Yes. All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. DiChiara.
Yes.
Mr. Splendoria.
Aye.
Mr. Shoner.
Aye.
Mrs. Dai.
Yes, under contracts, can I have a motion for S26 and S27?
So moved?
Second.
S26 is a motion to approve the following contracts for special education students. And S27 is a motion to retroactively approve the Behavioral Health Services Agreement between Prime Healthcare Service, St. Clair's LLC, and the Cedar Grove Board of Education. Any discussion?
No.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. DiChiara.
Yes.
Mr. Splendoria.
Aye.
Mr. Shoner.
Aye.
Mrs. Dai.
Yes. The meeting is open to the public for comment on items on or off the agenda. Seeing none. Announcement of future meetings, March 16th, which is right around the corner, and that is on a Monday. It's not our normal Tuesday, just because of the way things go. Sometimes it happens. So March 16th, same place, same time, and then after that will be April 21st, same place, same time.
Yes.
True indeed.
Right. Anything?
No.
For the comment for, sorry, I don't want to be out of turn, the comment or anything new to be brought up from the audience as well, or just amongst the board?
Oh, no, that was amongst everybody.
That's for
Yeah,
everybody.
yep. Can we go back? All right, I will reopen that part of the meeting for comments on items on or off the agenda.
Yeah.
Come on up.
Come on up.
Yep, absolutely. That's okay.
Where should I?
You have
Right
to
in
go to
front of the
mic.
microphone, and you just need to say your name and your address.
Good evening, I'm Seth Gowan, 38 Forest Hills Way. I just wanted to comment on something that's off the agenda unless it was on the agenda and I missed it when I was in the men's
Nope,
room.
you're good, on or off the agenda,
Okay.
so go right ahead.
It's about the aftercare program and the notices that we got that it was going to be now handled by the Board of Ed or run by the Board of Ed. Just a few comments that I had was, I learned of it last week and was planning on attending last week's meeting, and then it was canceled the day of. which
Actually, sorry to
not-
interrupt, it wasn't canceled the day of.
I
We had
learned it was
actually-
canceled the day of.
Right, but we had actually moved the meeting over a month ago.
Okay, I learned that it was canceled the
Right.
day of, and then to get the email the following day indicating that it's, I don't want to misquote, but, that excited to announce. It came as, to me, I interpret it as we, didn't have the chance at least to get input. I understand that I don't have any authority to make any decision in that regard. I just would have liked the opportunity to just provide my input, just give comments, and, which I'd like to do now, which is that I really, my children go to South End, and they love the aftercare. They love South End as during the school day as well, and and it's just been a real important part of their lives, their education, and now we just don't know. Now it's a question mark, from the information that I've received, which there certainly may be more, which is really one of the other reasons I'm here, is to try to get some more information of what the new program is going to be, and whether it is something that could be reconsidered possibly based on how it forms. Because from the email, it seems that there's still a lot of staff to be hired. That we don't know what the plan is, or if there is, a set plan at this point. So that's really why I'm here, to get information on that. What's the new program going to be like, and what's the plan for it, and I guess an explanation of what was the reason and the need for the change. Thanks.
Do you want to answer, or you want me to?
I could certainly
Okay.
answer that. Thank you for making comment like that, and just in terms of the timeline of feedback, that window is still very much open. So I've solicited emails and calls and visits from folks that are wondering about the same things you are, and we've had great productive conversations. I've answered all their questions. So let me try to answer some of your questions. So we envision the aftercare program to very much look like what it does today. It'll run, the hours of operation will be the same. The cost structure will be very much similar. That's yet to be determined in finality, but we want to keep the services and the costs very nearly what they are today. How are we doing so far? Of course, if you, well,
You have to go up there and
Yeah,
say
yeah,
your name
yeah.
and, yep.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yolanda, and
And your last name
Yeah.
too.
Morero.
And you have to give your address too, sorry.
I live
sorry.
in 14B Highland Road, Cedar Grove, New Jersey,
Now
with
you're
my
good.
2 daughters. So my concern with the way that parents are going to pay for the program. Now, a little bit about my story is I have a daughter with special needs. Her name is Natalie, and I think it was our first year here at Cedar Grove coming in from Union County. The YMCA gave my daughter a scholarship. As a single parent, I heavily rely on that scholarship. And thankfully, because of that scholarship opportunity, Natalie had some socialization in her life. She didn't have any before then. I was not working full time. I was still finishing graduate school while trying to raise my 2 daughters with some financial resources that I have. However, if they didn't give her that opportunity, she would have been coming home watching TV or playing on her tablet. And I don't think any child in the elementary school should have that type of upbringing, not having a play day or someone to play with. Especially with a child with a disability, it's harder to create those social environments for them because they already have so many challenges of their own, where the YMCA gave her a scholarship opportunity and she was able to be part of the program. Because of that relationship that my daughter, Natalie, formed with the YMCA, they become more than just a resource. We're like a family now. My 16-year-old daughter, Emily, works for the Y at South End now. And every time she goes to the YMCA, she's like, I love going there because I love playing with the kids. And because Emily's 16 and young and, has energy, she's playing basketball, or if they go outside, she's out in the playground with them. So through this opportunity of Emily being there, Emily has a passion now for working as a teacher, particularly with special needs children, and concentrating in art, which is her #1 passion. So I'm concerned for parents like me, single mothers like me, that depend on scholarships. Right now I'm doing AmeriCorps, so I serve our country. And AmeriCorps provides me with a scholarship stipend where they pay the YMCA each month for me to have aftercare services for Natalie. If I did not receive that stipend from AmeriCorps for the aftercare program, I wouldn't be able to do my service hours for our country. So I am wondering, how is that going to be, handled or managed when it comes to scholarships or accepting programs from like AmeriCorps, or I think it's called 4Cs. I don't know if they changed the name of the program, but those type of resources that single parents rely on. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah, that was clear. That was very
absolutely.
clear. Oh, yeah, thank
Yep.
you.
And thank you for
Yes.
your service.
Yes.
well, I'm not so sure there are specific questions embedded within your comments, but I can say this. I sure hope Natalie applies for our aftercare YMCA, our YMCA replacement program. So has Natalie reached out to me yet? About a job?
No, that's Emily.
Emily,
Oh.
I'm sorry.
The younger one might not be ready yet.
Did I get the names mixed up? Well, whoever's working at that
The
aftercare
16-year-old.
program, the 16-year-old,
Right.
please have her shoot me an email, because we'd love to have her join our team. Okay.
Sure.
Hello, Jennifer Pym, 63 Sherman Avenue. So the superintendent indicated that it would be a similar program, but I guess we just have questions with regard to how similar. My biggest concern is, will there be aftercare when there is half-day dismissals?
Yes.
Okay, that was one big question, because, and who are we planning to staff it with? Is it going to be all teachers, or who are the staff going to be?
Yeah, that falls under the category of yet to be determined, but we are committed to this project, and I can reassure you that aftercare will be offered until 6:30 on those half-days.
And there's other districts that have taken their aftercare program in-house. You know, we're not exactly reinventing the wheel. I mean, the administration has been talking to other districts about how they handle it also. So, you know, it's not like we're kind of going into this having no idea, right? But we wanted to get out the information because there had been misinformation that either we were canceling it or it was going away, and so that is absolutely not true. We absolutely recognize that it is essential to a lot of people, and so we would never do that. It's just in times of, you know, where we're trying to balance our budget and think about ways to do that, one of the ways to do that is to actually bring it in-house. So that's what we're doing. Any other questions on it? You gotta come back up, yeah, sorry. It's for the viewers at home, too.
One of the concerns that, I'm sorry, should I say my name now?
No,
Just-
no, not at all.
You're good
No.
now.
We got you.
So I have two comments. So one of the concerns that me and the parents have is, are the teachers going to be running this as well? Because we're concerned about them being burnt out at the end of the day, with, you know, them already seeing the kids in class, then having to come back to school the next day, like at 7:30, 8 in the morning, and having that same energy to engage and teach our children. That's my first concern. My second concern is, does this also affect the YMCA summer camp program?
In terms
Of it not being around in Cedar Grove during the summer.
Well, as of this summer, the YMCA's camp will remain in place. And going forward, as I've explained to the Y, we're going to evaluate each year where we are with that. But as of this year, this summer, the Y will be running Sparks and Gap at Memorial Middle School.
Did we already approve that? I thought we did on the last agenda,
Yeah, it's
We did.
right? We did, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely did.
approved already.
Yeah.
Did you want to address the first concern about the teachers' burnout?
Yeah, well, we've been discussing that, and it's certainly a consideration. The reality is, however, as Mrs. Dye had stated earlier, a number of districts already have taken in their aftercare programs inside, and their teachers staff that. The additional reality is, our teachers now leave our buildings and take on all manner of jobs, most specifically tutoring. And so there's no shortage of opportunities that our teachers don't take to earn extra income.
Even sports, which can last even longer than 6:30.
For sure. I mean, looking at our coaching roster, myself being a teacher many years and a 3-season coach, it's tiring. We're concerned about that. So the hope is that we get enough of our staff to apply, enough folks like your daughter to apply, where we have enough staff to rotate people. That would be the idea. A number of our paraprofessionals have already applied for the position. So it's not exclusively going to be filled by our certificated teachers. And so we're going to be mindful of that. I've spoken to some of our staff about that concern, about their day going until 6:30 on some occasion. And of course, we also discussed the reality that by 6 o'clock, most of our youngsters have got home already. So you have to try to envision what's happening between the hours of 5:30 and 6:30. It's not nearly as concentrated and cumbersome, burdensome, if you will, as it is between 3:30 and 5:30.
But it'll still be offered until 6:30.
It's still going to be offered. Let's not
Right.
lose sight of this. But by 6 o'clock, you know, when I go through these schools, by and large, the kids are home already. So there's that as well.
No, go right ahead.
Yeah, please, no.
Totally fine.
So sorry. Jackie Forte, 30 Garrett Street. I actually don't even have a child that uses the aftercare. I think the biggest concern that I kind of heard of was that it was mostly an issue of lack of communication, I think, between the board and the public, almost not realizing until it was almost too late. It almost seemed like it was a done deal before there was ever any kind of forum for some sort of communication. So I felt like that's why there was almost like a rumor mill starting where like neighbors are asking me like, did you hear about this aftercare thing? I'm like, I don't even use it. I don't even know. I just know that then there's rumors about before care potentially being something that's charged for, and that does affect me because I also teach in a district. I leave my house before 7 in the morning. I need to make sure that my husband can drop off my kids early in order for him to get to work. And then I'm hearing just through the grapevine that that's something that might incur costs for us in the future. Like these are all things that we would need to work out in our budget. And I feel like as a resident, it's very important for us to feel like we have voices to at least be participants in that discussion if that's something that's going to incur a cost for us, as well as like whatever cost it's going to incur for the school district itself. Like I think these are things that would just so much more help to be kind of open lines of communication on our end. And that was pretty much it. It's more like a statement than anything else, but I do have that question about before care because that's a hot question in my house right now.
So one thing I'd like to mention is that if somebody has a question, the best place to get that question answered is to call the board and to call Mr. Featherman. To just throw it out there on social media and hear all of the rumors, right, wrong, who knows, and then it starts a whole trail. The meeting, they canceled the meeting, they're shady. Why would they cancel the meeting at the last minute? It's because all the aftercare parents are coming. That was never the case, okay, ever. A month ago, I sat here and I announced the dates just like I always do, and I announced March 11th. We had changed the date a while ago. So, but then the rumor mill starts, okay? As far as the aftercare, we were still in the process of working out the details, as Mr. Featherman said, but again, somehow it got out, or there was a rumor that we were canceling it. We were gonna screw everybody, no aftercare for anyone. But instead, most people, instead of calling Mr. Featherman, which some people actually did.
They did,
And
yeah.
you gave them the correct information, they just went on social media and said, no, they're canceling it, oh, they're terrible, oh, this and that, oh, they canceled the meeting. If you have a question, call the man. He is open lines of communication, always. And if he can't take your call, he'll call you back. That's the best way to get accurate information, in all honesty. And the reason why we put out the thing, the did you know about aftercare, is because there was so much miscommunication because somebody had started it somewhere that we were canceling it. We wanted to be able to come out and say, hey, this is our plan, this is what we're gonna do, we have it all worked out. You know, instead of saying to be continued, we're working on a plan, but then everybody was all concerned that there wasn't gonna be aftercare. So that's why we came out early on and said there's absolutely gonna be aftercare, just kind of bear with us while we work on the details. So I really recommend, if you have a question, just call Mr. Featherman, he'll answer it, and he'll be honest with you.
You know, I'm thinking of running for mayor in my hometown, and she's going to be my campaign manager. So I think you get the gist of it. Look, sometimes the communication may seem strained, but there's no, in this case and in most other cases, there's no particular reason for that other than, you know, we've got our eyes on a bigger prize, it's budget season, we're focused on the fact that we have a very large budget gap to fill. And the only way to do that is to look at the revenue that is available to the district. And clearly, you must know things about aftercare costs. There is a revenue stream there, and it's as simple as this. This Board of Education is doing all it can to rein in costs for the taxpayer. And we can no longer allow aftercare revenue and potentially morning care revenue. I want to be very open with you. There is a discussion amongst this board about charging for morning care, but we're looking to package it in a sensible way. One of the ideas we have is to package free morning care if we have families that join a 5-day full-time aftercare program. So we want to be sensible, but the reality is right now, we spend over $80,000 in morning care costs alone. $80,000 to staff our morning care program that we've offered to this community for $0 for free for several years. We would love to continue that. I have two kids at home and I do, aftercare things as well. We would love to continue providing that for free. The reality is that with over $1 million gap in our budget, you have to fill that somehow. And if there's a couple of $100,000 out there in revenue for aftercare, and potentially $80, $90, $100,000 in revenue for morning care, we need to take that advantage of that. And we realize it's a burden on you, and we want to get this information out to you just as soon as we can. So what are we doing? What is my team doing, the board? We're working on a proposal. We're going to get all of our numbers together, and we're going to come back here to a board meeting in the near future. And we're going to present all of this to you just as soon as we have the details worked out. We're trying to be sensitive to individuals that perhaps are, like Mrs. Moreno, under specialized programs. We want to be sensitive to that as well. I don't have an answer for some of the concerns you have in the immediate term, but we're going to look at that and see if this board can come up with a sensible way to help folks like you out. So bear with us. This is a large undertaking. It's one that myself and this board did not want. Let's be perfectly honest. This is not something we wanted to take on, but the reality is, where do you find the money to operate the school district? We can't afford to let those revenue streams go outside. That's what this is about. There's no conspiracy here. Call me, email me. I'll be happy to talk you through it. If you or yourself know someone interested in working for us, we'd love to have you come in and talk about your qualifications. If you have older students, older children at the high school that want to work, we'd love to consider having them join our team as well. So reach out to me. Thank you, Mrs. Dye, for those comments. And by all means, keep the questions coming, okay?
It's been this, you look at the budget and you're trying to figure out how do you consistently balance raising taxes, because we're trying to be very fiscally conservative, and at the same time, and I don't want to be like I'm sounding alarms, but it's like, well, no, when you have a deficit of $1 million, there's only, if you don't plug that somehow, there's only one other way you go.
And we don't want to do that.
We do not want to do that under any circumstances. We've made such leaps and strides over the years from when it used to be, when things, they did.
Kept getting cut.
We get cut. There were 7 years we got cut, and at one point we laid off 22 teachers 1 year.
Devastating.
It was devastating that year. It was horrific, and so we're trying to figure out how do we keep everything going without staying fiscally responsible and yet not going any in that direction of going back.
And trying to move forward as best we can too,
Right.
with adding things as well, which I think we're still, we're trying to do, and I think
Yeah.
we're gonna achieve with this budget.
I debate that with anybody who would like to. We don't want to just be where we are and maintain the status quo. That's not what this community wants and deserves and is all about. We have to keep moving forward. So we're trying to be more creative with ways of funding newer programs, STEM programs, enrichment programs, the arts. It all costs money. I don't have to tell you that. You have families, you have households, you have children. So, we appreciate your understanding. We'll be as delicate as we can, but we need the funding coming our way to run these programs.
And by the way, the aftercare, I'm here a while, so I remember these things. The aftercare program, we actually discussed taking it in-house a number of years ago. And we weighed the pros and the cons at the time and the revenue stream at the time, and we gave serious consideration to it. So it's not like we haven't thought about this before. It's probably about
It was probably 5-6 years ago. We did
right?
multiple proposals here.
Exactly.
If
We had
you've
other
been
people
around,
come
They
in.
came in, we discussed, we talked about revenue sharing, and it just,
At the time, it
return on
wasn't right.
investment just wasn't right at the time. Now, we don't have a choice. We're gonna build a great aftercare program, okay? And if we don't get it exactly right the first time around, we're gonna continue working on it until we get it the way you need it and we want it.
We know a little something about taking care of kids, right?
We're in the kid business. We know a few things.
All right, anybody else want to come up? Because I'm going to do the gavel soon, so go ahead.
Hi, I'm Daniela Baracco, 133 Cedar Street, Cedar Grove, New Jersey. I'm here since 1977. I am a single mother. My daughter goes to South End School. And my question is, I understand you are coming up with a plan, and I respect that, and I'm willing to hear it out, and that's why I'm here. But how soon can you give us something substantial so that someone like me, who can barely make ends meet, this is a large struggle for me every month to pay for aftercare, that I could know that this is the right decision I'm making for my daughter in the forthcoming year? Because I pick her up at 6:30, her homework is done, she's happy, she feels like she's had a play date every day, she sits and she makes dinner with me, we have that time together, then we review her homework, and she can share with me how she got those answers. And then she's had playtime, and she's tired, and she wants to sit with me and read. And it helps me quite a bit. My parents are elderly. So I just wanted to know structurally, when we would have some kind of idea how this is all going to come together, so I can make a decision for myself and my daughter.
I don't have a definitive timeline. I can tell you that we're working feverishly on it now. I mean, it's March 11th, so, you know, I put myself out there. Within a month's time, we should have a pretty good idea. Around that time, maybe at the April 21st meeting, I'll have a presentation for the community. That's my goal right now.
But in terms of the structure, it's going to be,
Well, structurally, as I had said, it's going to be very similar to what we have now.
and time frame. You've already said it's going to go
Timeframe's
to
gonna be the same,
6:30.
until 6:30.
And the rates are going to be comparative.
Rates are going to be comparable to what they are.
Comparable as in the same or less, or they could increase? I mean, I just asking for a general idea.
This board is very sensitive to the cost of what families are paying now. We're not looking to take advantage of the situation. So right now, we're saying that the cost structure will be, I'll use the word, greatly similar to. I mean, I can't say it'll be the exact number, but we know what the number is now, and we're saying that it's going to be right around that number then. That's what we're saying. It could be $5 more or less. It could be. Again, we're trying to package it with the morning care fee structure, as I'd shared. If you're full-time aftercare, free morning care, but there's something in between there. If you're not full-time aftercare, we're developing a model now where there's going to be some cost to a part-time aftercare, part-time morning care family. Again, it's $80,000 for morning care. I don't want to beat the proverbial horse here, but these are monies that we can no longer put out without seeing some kind of a return on that.
And may I ask also, when you present this, will you be more or less presenting the types of activities so we have a general idea what the children will be doing? I mean, will there be like an outline? It doesn't have to be specific, but
Yes.
I mean, just a general idea.
Yes, and that's
Because
what's
it's a
taking
long
time.
school day,
Yeah.
and they need to blow off some steam.
Absolutely. And we like a lot of the things we see in our aftercare program now, we like. And we want to recognize that and maintain continuity there. We are educators, and so we also have some ideas to perhaps even improve the program. We're particularly focused on STEM programming, enrichment in the arts, and homework. And some of the feedback I get now with the aftercare program is that my child comes home, their homework's done, but it hasn't been reviewed, and so their frustration is that they have to go over the homework again. So I don't know I can deliver on the promise right out of the gate, but one of the ideas is to focus on some kind of homework support, God bless you, so that when the child comes home, not only is the homework done, but it's been reviewed by someone. These are the kinds of things. We're trying to build maybe a slightly better mousetrap. That's the goal.
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to hearing all about it then. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Mr. Catrone, you're the only one who hasn't come up to talk about aftercare. You good, or? You sure?
I mean, I'm always good for the pain.
Right.
I don't have a here.
Now,
Anybody
just one last thing.
Yeah,
I guess
go
it's
right
me.
ahead.
It's-
No,
it's
go
me.
ahead.
Not to-
Absolutely.
If you have ideas,
Yeah.
please share them.
Absolutely.
You know, that's how I've been superintendent, your superintendent 7 years. That's how I've always operated. What are your ideas? Please bring them to the board, to me. Let's build that better mousetrap. What ideas do you have? Please share them.
Any other comment from here or out there? We're good? All right, I'm closing the meeting, that part of the meeting. Again, as I say, announcement of future meetings, it's March 16th, which is Monday, which is gonna be here before we know it. And then after that, April 21st. Same place, same time.
Yes.
All right, any other further comments, or?
No, we appreciate your input.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I just want to say happy birthday to our board member, Len Splendoria. He's spending his birthday with us, so we feel honored. And you didn't have a choice.
25 for the 30th time.
All right, a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. DeChara.
Yes.
Mr. Splendoria.
Yes.
Mr. Shoner.
Yes.
Mrs. Dai.
Yes, the meeting is over. Have a good evening, everyone, and we'll see you in a couple of days.